Today is Monday, August 12th, and we are attacking today's show with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind, just like Jim Harbaugh. We got a lot to get into as the Olympics close and Flea takes us into 2028 in Los Angeles, gyrating all over the place. We have NFL preseason to get to and my trip to Nashville, where I watched the Tennessee Titans barely hold off an amazing comeback attempt from a one Josh Dobbs.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
Watch your dome pieces, boys and girls. We got DK Metcalf out here.
This is Sports Idiot Nation. Who's got it better than us? Nobody.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots. Welcome, sinners. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Yes, welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. As always, I am Adam Marino, joined by Miles behind enemy lines and a Mr. T.I. I hope that today's show, T.I. can take more of a Trey Lance approach and actually be with us for more than 89% of the game, because Trey Lance, wow, really played just a heck of a ball game in that preseason game, and we're looking for T.I. to kind of do the same and not just mail it in like most shows.
Well, this passive aggression is coming out of nowhere here, but I think I'll respond and channel my inner CeeDee Lamb here and respond eloquently here. Just let me touch this up right here. And
he went the tweet. Yes, the LOL. Oh, okay, let's get into the Cowboys. Let's start with the Cowboys. So
I'm going to draw some pictures of you guys while we're podcasting, okay?
Yeah, all right. So this idea of an NFL quarterback having to play like practically the full game is so hilarious to me, because I think of, remember when Mark Sanchez was playing with like the 8th string like offensive lineman and then got hurt, and then the rest is history. Mark Sanchez is now on the ESPNs of the world and just talking football instead of playing. And it's like, what are you doing, like playing him so much? But it's obvious that they don't know if he's any good yet, and like they haven't really seen him play. And we have not heard from Trey Lance in like 2 years. And so I know T.I. texted me like, Adam, Trey Lance is getting the start with Dallas. I'm like, okay, why are you texting me? Like, who cares?
Because I know you were excited when they traded up and drafted him. I mean, you had to have been excited.
Totally worth it.
You had to have been excited. So I had to text you and let you know, because you were
right. Had to let me know what's going on.
Yeah, I know you're on the road. You probably pulled over just to tune into the game.
I'm super tired. Great trip to Nashville. So I want to say thank you to the boys. Them and their state was pretty good hosts. I was on probably 19 different rooftop bars. That is the thing to do in Nashville. Very cool vibe. Went to the game. 49ers took on the Tennessee Titans, and great stadium, great atmosphere, super cool. I wasn't expecting much because I knew that the starters weren't going to play for San Francisco, and some of them were going to play, a lot of them actually, for the Titans. How do you think, let's get into it. How did you think Will Levis did, and what did you think of the hit by D. Winters?
Well, I've already hogged this intro, so I'm going to let Miles kick that off.
Well, before we get into Will Levis, I do got to ask you, yourself being from the Bay Area, how many California refugees did you meet down in Tennessee?
Hey, I will tell you, 49er fans travel incredibly well. My own mom was saying that
because they want to leave California, of course.
When she watched other preseason games, the stadiums were like empty, and she watched the Titans game and was like, there's a lot of people there. And one thing I'll say, shout out to Nashville. I do think that okay, you got school starting or a little bit before school in most areas, and it's your last trip for the summer. Why not go to Nashville, of all cities, a cool place? And then, okay, you get to see your team play, and it's going to be cheaper tickets. Why not? I think that was a huge factor in why there were so many 49er fans at this game. Nashville it's just different. It's like New Orleans, Bourbon Street, and Vegas. It's got those aspects where it's like it's just that destination where every single weekend is going to be just flat out nuts. It was just awesome. Good food, good people. Everyone is there to have a good time, and have a good time we did. There was a lot of sinning.
Yeah. Nashville's a fun city.
Now, to get to your actual question, and by the way, other Niners faithful and every other team out there, please, by all means, come to Tennessee. Spend your hard-earned tax dollars here. You are more than welcome anytime.
Yeah.
But Will Levis, yeah, he played well. He played well. The offensive line overall played well. Again, 2 possessions. Yeah, it was helped out by the special teams, but that's part of the game. The special teams, by and large, played very well. Sans Nick Folk, but not worried about him. He's going to be just fine. Will Levis's decision to be a competitor in preseason game numero uno.
He was jacked up, ready to go.
He was jacked up, but he showed his youth, and I think everyone understands that that's kind of his mentality, for better, for worse. Sometimes it's good in a preseason game. That doesn't matter. No, it's not good. He's got to know when to slide. That's part of his development. That's the development for he's 24 now, I think. So he'll figure it out in time. Hopefully that was a teachable moment for him. But by and large, his effort, Calvin Ridley played well. Pollard and Spears, their balance in the backfield, man, they are going to be dynamic. And I think the Titans showed that they were very well prepared as well coming into this game. Again, preseason game, I know it doesn't matter a lot, but when you are a fan of a team that hasn't had a meaningful game since like October of last year, before everything truly went off the rails, you're fired up for the first preseason game. So, and with the new coaching staff as well, you're excited to see that buy-in, because you know there's buy-in when they come out with the physicality and that preparedness going right from the top. So that was good to watch. A lot of opportunities out there to improve. That's a no-brainer. Again, that goes for a lot of teams, but it makes me hopeful that going into the season, they're bought in. The locker room is a cohesive unit. Once the starters truly get out there in week 1 in Chicago, we're going to surprise the hell out of some people, and we might be in contention for a wild card spot.
Yeah, so T.I., what do you think, T.I.? Big shout out to T.I. Make sure you follow Titans Idiot Nation. Over 30,000 followers on Facebook. Follow Sports Idiot Nation on all social medias as well. But I want to ask T.I. here, regarding preseason, is there something in particular that you were looking for that was maybe an aha moment in this game already? Like, oh, okay, the linemen were able to do this, or our receivers did kind of step up, or these rookies, was there anything that you saw?
It's real simple for me. There are 2 things I wanted to see. One, I wanted to see scoring drives out the gate. I didn't want to see settling for 45-yard field goals. Will Levis went down, led 2 scoring drives. First 2 chances, took him out. That's what I want to see. They didn't have to keep him in there to get his stats padded or make him feel good. I mean, he got in, got the job done. They took him out. Did he need to take that hit? Hell no. He needs to just dive on the ground and fall forward.
Dude, D. Winters is a man.
But he's still that's just him, man. It's just him. I mean, it's going to be his downfall, I think, once he gets that shoulder injury, if he keeps doing that. But we all saw what happened to, Jalen Ramsey. And so I think he was thinking last night, oh, I'm going to truck this dude and go in the end zone. And, D is a little more stout than Jalen Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, that was the main thing I wanted to say. I wanted to see scoring drives out the gate. I didn't want to see us struggling. I didn't want to see Mason Rudolph get the first points on the board. Nothing against Mason Rudolph. I just did not want to see that, because it's not going to bode well for one, the naysayers, 2, just our fan base and the excitement for everything. It's like Miles said, you haven't had a meaningful game. You want to feel good about it. A win is a win. It's preseason, but my other point that I wanted to see was the line, and they only allowed two pressures for a team that we have seen just that be their Achilles heel for the last 2.5 seasons, maybe even 3. That was good to see. My thing is, you give Levis time to look around the field and find the receiver. He can hit every spot on the field. He has an arm to hit every single spot. He has not. In the 9 games last year, it looked like he had 2.5 seconds before people were in his face. And for a rookie quarterback, not having time, not having the I guess pieces around him that he has now, like now it's all on him. I think he's up for the challenge. But that was my main thing. I wanted to see him have quick scoring drives, and I wanted to see the defense. I wanted to see the offense protect him. Thought the defense looked a little shaky at first, but they buckled down. They were fine. So yeah, it's excitement all around, man. Player, kind of like Miles said, players bought in. I think Jeffrey Simmons and Will Levis are definitely leading the charge there. Will Levis immediately started embracing, all the receivers, calling them. They say oftentimes that people walk by rims and he's in there just with the receivers. So, he's definitely bought into this is his team. And that we're only going to go as far as he takes us. I hate to put the pressure on the young guy's shoulders, but that's the reality of the situation. Our team has improved tenfold. I know people are still bitter about Derrick Henry, but I feel like we have a much better team on paper, even with him departing to Baltimore now. So, I'm excited for the new pass attack, the new air assault Titans.
That's the aura that I hear people talk about is Titans fans are now like, oh, we're not just going to run the ball all the time now. Like, oh, okay, let's open up the offense. We have some receivers. So that will be cool to see for sure.
In a way, though, they did say, I think although I think Spears and Pollard accounted for 70% of the plays ran through them. So, but both those guys can catch the ball. Both of them are shifty. It's really interchangeable. I'm a little concerned when we get on the goal line because Will Levis is our biggest running back. But as we saw with Spears, he can just jump cut, Pollard is shifty. So, I'm not too worried about having a mauler or a bruiser. I'm fine with the small ball as long as we keep them healthy.
So free wings when there's a rushing touchdown. It's new this year. So whenever there's a rushing touchdown this year, which is that okay, you had Derrick Henry, you were bound to get a rushing touchdown. Now you let him go. And now you say that? I don't know. It was just a weird thing. I went with, so funny story is I went with the guy that does our voiceover who will be on the show here in the next month or so for sure. Jay Harper. Shout out to Jay. I went with him, and he's a season ticket holder, and he was like, oh, last year they didn't do that. So free wings whenever there's a rushing touchdown. I don't know what the deal is, but I thought that was
if you know us, we like wings. Strikeout Wings, our sponsor for episode 1, all the time.
Yeah.
All day,
shout
every
out
day.
Strikeout.
So great experience.
The reason why they didn't do that wings. Yeah, the reason they probably didn't do that wing stuff was just that Jacksonville game alone a couple years ago would have put him out of business because Henry had 4 touchdowns. You imagine everybody in the stadium
per touchdown per se, but
so you don't get 25 wings.
If they get one rushing touchdown at all, it does it. It's not
come on.
You get free 6 wings per touchdown, so it's 30 wings.
Well, with Derrick Henry, it had to be you get 1 free wing for every rushing touchdown. I think that's what made the most economic sense for them.
We'll throw in an extra ranch if he gets over 200 yards rushing.
In the fourth quarter, if you guys are up in the fourth quarter of home games and you just have fans run the ball, you're up 17 points,
I want some damn hot wings.
Yeah,
I want some free wings. I can buy them. I have money to buy them, but I just want the free ones.
Free food does taste better. There's no question.
Yeah.
So
great
experience
tacos
at
or
Nissan.
Something, give away tacos or something like that.
Or NBA over 100 points. I remember the Bulls games. You get I don't know what it was, but just everyone wanted the free whatever it was for take your ticket stub. If the Bulls score 100 points and you get a free punch in the face. I don't know.
People at Wendy's are
I'm a Cleveland fan
watching the game damn it, man, we're going to have a long drive through again.
I know, right? No, that's the thing
Chicago
for sure.
Bulls.
Burger King, buy one, get one fries or something all these people are just coming in for fries.
Thought you were
fryer's broke.
No, I'm calling out. Bulls won. I'm calling out, man. I'm tired of those coupons.
So let's get into more preseason. We can kind of go by the day. So Thursday the 8th, we actually are saved by the crappiness. It's Carolina and New England. We're not interested. The New York Giants, we're just not interested. They played Detroit. They're going to be fine. We know what Detroit is. They're going to be pretty good. So Friday, though, Friday's games were Atlanta and Miami, Houston and Pittsburgh, and Philly and Baltimore. And all three of those had some decent storylines. The first one, Atlanta, they lost 13-20 in Miami. And I want to see what you guys thought about that, the situation in Atlanta where they have Kirk Cousins, and that was like the big deal. We're like, okay, we see reports of him getting acquainted with the players and like getting the chain on, because Kirk gonna Kirk. But then draft comes around, and with the top 10 pick, they get a quarterback who played at the same college that a one Miles Harrington attended, and then he got wise and got out of there and went west, as one does, and played for a natty and lost miserably to a Big Ten team, which we'll find out if that will be revoked. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that. But Michael, how do you pronounce his name, T.I.?
I pronounce it Penix, even though that is incorrect. Michael Penix.
As you were told. Yeah. So 9 for 16, 104
Miles
yards.
Told me it's incorrect, but
yeah, a rating of 76. Big deal, little deal, no deal. I mean, I like him because he's lefty. Did you guys think that's a big deal?
I mean, he was fun to watch in college. I don't know. That's a reach, I think, for Atlanta. And it's confusing. It's a head scratcher. You pay all that money to, Kirko. He leaves Minnesota because they told him they were going to draft a quarterback, and he goes to Atlanta, and then
they freaking
surprise.
And not just the first round, not just like a top 10 pick.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's fine. I guess it's a fine debut. I mean, they're not going to play Kirk Cousins, I guess. They're not going to throw him out there really and put him to the test. They already paid him all this money, but is this a trial run for Kirk Cousins? I mean, if they open up the gate 0-5, like, does Dick Tracy himself, Arthur Blank, like Dick Tracy villain looking dude, make the call and say, all right, time to put Michael in there? I mean, I don't know. It's a weird situation. Or does he sit all year?
It's highly weird.
I think their saving grace is that division still is trash. Absolutely. So I think that's a critical factor as well. With Michael Penix, yeah, he can ball out, but being an IU fan, see what really happened with him. The guy was hurt every other year. So when you're moving up from Big Ten or Pac-12 defenses to the NFL, not for long for him, possibly, because he is shown consistently he is made of glass. So that worries me. Last couple seasons, he's stayed away from the injury bug, but it might come back to bite him and bite him hard. So he's got to figure that out. He's got to put more meat on his frame for sure. His release might be awkward, but damn, the dude can sling it. He can get the ball there. Who cares? He could shot put that thing. He's got that arm strength and he's got that zip on the ball with his accuracy. He'll be fine from that standpoint, but he's got to figure out a way to stay within the tackles and make quick decisions. Again, that's why Tom Brady, and people are like, oh, Tom Brady was just a check down quarterback. He's overrated. That's why he stayed in the league for 22 years, because he got rid of the ball so damn fast. Michael Penix has to be the same way, mixed in with the launches, 15, 20, 30-yard throws. He's got to get rid of the ball quick to save his own behind and allow him to have a little longevity during his time in the NFL. Kirk Cousins is still going to be there for a couple of years, but that's another issue. Michael Penix is older. He may not get his first true start being the long-term starter until he's 30 years old.
That's nuts. That's why I don't agree with the decisions, because they wasted a quote unquote wasted a top 10 pick. So I think the cops are already coming for the Falcons. We can hear.
They had their pick of any defensive player they wanted. There were no defensive players taken, and still for like another 7 picks, no defensive players, and they went quarterback.
Jesse Bates has to be like, come on, what are you guys doing? One of the best safeties in the league from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and can't get any help on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's probably happy he can pick on him in practice now, and picking him off nonstop. But no, truly, come game day, yeah, I can only imagine what's really going on inside their heads.
Saving grace for the Atlanta Falcons with 11 passing yards was a one Taylor Heineke. So obviously, big news coming out of Atlanta is I didn't even know. Be honest, did you guys even know that Taylor Heineke was with the Atlanta Falcons and they still have?
I did
Ritter?
know that. I did know that.
You did not know that.
Yes, I did. I did. Because they signed him. Because when Washington basically was like, yeah, we're taking Jaden Daniels, they didn't re-sign him. They weren't re-signing Heineke. And I thought that was crazy because I was like, man, he's the only dude that's played for him, balled for him.
Right.
I know they had the rookie dude they traded to Seattle or whatever, but, he put up numbers, but he wasn't very good. I already forgot his name. He's not ever going to be a starter in Seattle. What is his name?
Yeah.
Who is that guy? Look at that. Look how quick we forget,
Yeah.
That guy.
Taylor Heineke did
I did, yes, I did. I'm not trying to look cool in front of you with my Taylor Heineke knowledge here,
Yeah, see.
Yeah. Maybe you guys need to brush up on your sports knowledge there.
The only reason I knew he was gone from Washington and went to Atlanta is because the guy that works for me has been a lifelong Redskins fan. And yes, they are still the Redskins to him. So that is the only reason I knew that. But now the Super Bowl chances for the Redskins and the Washington team of football, or Washington
team of football,
they are now gone because Heineke is no longer the staple of that offense.
He is pro's pro. Taylor Heineke, pro's pro.
Who will not be a staple of the offense is a one Nathan Rourke, who went 3 for 13 and then got cut. Like, they didn't even keep him around.
Like, bro, here's an Uber, man. You're not even on the plane. Here's an Uber. We got you Uber Black. It's an Uber Black, though. It's Uber Black. It's not just regular Uber.
So, they played. They got beat by the Dolphins. The Dolphins aren't playing, obviously, everybody. That's kind of the thing now where, guys, Beckham, remember, is with the Miami Dolphins. So you have Odell Beckham, you have Jalen Waddle, and you have the NFL top 100 rated number 1 player, which obviously is incorrect because I'm not a big Patrick Mahomes guy, but come on, he's obviously the number 1. But Tyreek Hill was voted number 1. So you have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Odell Beckham in your receiving room. Not all bad. But if they don't win their division and have to go play in cold weather, no one is thinking Hawk Tua is going to do anything. But yeah, Miami, they look good. Always a good interview when Mike McDaniels is on with like Dan Patrick or with anyone. He's just like a goofy ass dude. Like Mike McDaniels would just come hang out and be like, "Oh, so what's in your background there, Miles? Like, tell me about that." Like he would just be random and just weird. We're like, yeah, dude, we're doing the podcast. Do you want to maybe talk about the season? Like, well, yeah, but like that's cool. You guys have matching headphones and stuff. Like he would be that guy. He would just be so weird and random.
He's just thankful, man. I think he's thankful and he's gracious, and that's really all it is. I think he's a nerd. I think he's deep down. He's just a nerd. He's an analytics nerd. I think he loves crunching numbers. I think he loves people. I think he's a people person. I think he loves just socializing. And I think he loves making people laugh. And I think his players react to that. And I mean, Dolphins players love him, dude. And I see Titans fans making fun of him a lot. And I'm just like, man, I hate to say it. If I was a coach, I'd probably be just like that, dude. I mean, I'd be like wearing some ridiculous stuff sometimes, like I'd just be like, I don't care. Hey, if you don't like me, that's fine. But guess what?
Throwing your wife under the bus.
75 points on your sorry ass defense there. So,
well, my wife made me wear this, or like, yeah, my wife told me I should do this. Like,
so yeah, I
could see you doing that. Very cool. Okay, so also we had one of your favorite teams of all time, the Houston Texans, and they played the Steelers. The Steelers. So Brandon Ayuk, supposedly after watching Justin Fields play, decided he doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh. That's still a mess.
Dude, he's got to be just driving up the Niners deal. Like, he's not getting traded.
He doesn't have much leverage, though. I will say the real story of that game, though, was the Houston Texans coming out in Atlanta Falcons jerseys. That's the real controversy here.
That's right. Shout out Wes Wisely pointing that out. They the Houston Texans are thieves. Not only do they want our Houston Oilers jerseys back, but now they're stealing Atlanta Falcons jerseys. Pathetic.
Night, Tennessee Oilers.
That's right. Tennessee Oilers. Legendary Tennessee Oiler Earl Campbell.
Well, hopefully you don't hear this phrase too often. Tank Dell, touchdown, thrown by C.J. Stroud. Yeah. Hopefully you don't hear that too much, because it did happen in this game.
It did. Tank Dell's good, though. I got a lot of respect for that dude. He's broke his leg, got shot. He's out here touching the ball twice, getting a touchdown in like 50 yards. Like, you can't hate on that, man.
He's catching balls and catching bullets.
Oh God. And scene. That was the meme of the week. Okay, then we had the Eagles and your Ratbirds, as you call them. Those teams, honestly, be interested to see how the Eagles do turning around from last year, the debacle that was the second half. They were what was their record to start? They were undefeated. The Jets beat them so then they were like 4-1. Then they were like 8-1, 10-1 or something, weren't they? Were the Philadelphia Eagles 10-1 at one point last year?
I think so. And then it just all came crumbling down.
They lost like 6 games in a row, dude. So Kenny Pickett was 14 of 22. Yeah. There was a Kenny Pickett sighting.
Tiny hands,
yeah.
Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Is it just one? Does he have just one real tiny hand, or is it both of them tiny? I don't know. It's a mystery.
It's like that little hand that comes like
Take my strong hand, child.
Yeah. So quarterback rating of 87.1. Not terrible. A 1, Kenny Pickens. The Eagles, I don't know if anyone trusts their coaching staff. Like, did they lose the team, from what happened last year?
No, Nick Sirianni.
We're going to find out real fast. We're going to find out really quick.
Yeah. So what? They opened up in Brazil, right? That's the Brazil game? Is that right, Miles?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we got something a little special coming for y'all before that game.
That's right.
Yeah. We're going to learn a little Portuguese here in next few weeks. But more to come. For that. More to come.
That's called foreshadowing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, foreshadowing. And that's a good call to action move right there. So remember to follow on all the social medias, Sports 88 Nation. Subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification bell, so when new content drops, you're like, bam, as I'm bamming the microphone. Okay, what other storylines for the preseason? I thought it was cool that they were interviewing what's his face from Minnesota, the receiver. Why am I blanking on his name?
Justin Jefferson?
JJ, yeah. They were interviewing him, and all of a sudden, rookie quarterback from Michigan comes in and just throws a 50-yard touchdown as JJ's being interviewed, and they like pause the interview. He's like, oh, hey, touchdown. He's like running, jumping. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's what preseason is about, is getting McCarthy the ball a little bit, have him throw it around. Like, okay, if you're in Minnesota, like, you don't assume that's going to happen every game, just 50-yard bombs from JJ McCarthy, but like, that's cool. Like, when Trey Lance did it to Danny Gray Danny Gray was brought in like a 4-2 speedster for the 49ers. And his first preseason game, he did the same thing. And 49er fans went crazy. Oh, Trey Lance. Oh, this is what we needed. See, Jimmy G can't do that. And we know how that started, or how that ended up, I should say. I don't know. Is McCarthy the real deal? Is he going to start, or is who is it out there? He was the 49ers backup last year and the Jets' old quarterback, right?
Sam Darnold.
In Minnesota. Sam Darnold, yep. He looks like Rudy to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've invested highly in him. JJ has to get the start, I think, unless they just think he's not ready. But I mean, you have a fail-safe out there at wideout.
But Darnold looks good, is what they're saying.
Well, I mean, he like, the guy knows how to play quarterback. Does that mean he's going to carry a team the entire season? I mean, it's kind of like, to go back to the Pastronaut himself, Josh Dobbs. I mean, he's a great situational backup, but is he the guy that's gonna take over and really like take you to the promised land if your starter goes down? Like, I just don't know.
I really want to know what would have happened with Sam Darnold's career had he not got ruined by the Jets.
I know,
I really
right?
think he would have gone a totally different direction. He had all the tools, known as a smart guy, committed, puts in the work.
Jets, man,
but man, he was just totally destroyed by the Jets, and he just never truly got his confidence back. It's fourth team, because he went Carolina, San Francisco, probably some other teams in there I didn't even realize he played for, because he just fell off the face of the earth after his cross-field interception against Detroit in his first game ever as a Jet, and then it just was, this guy's fried.
The Jets they're just out here just destroying the trajectories of these superstar quarterbacks. I mean, Mark Sanchez, Zach Wilson,
ruining the preseason.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yes, correct.
Okay,
Aaron Rodgers.
How did Aaron Rodgers make it on the top 100? Get out of here. How could you play and not even throw the ball? And get hurt
and leave him off the top 100 even if he didn't play. I mean, come on.
Is it only supposed to be based on 2023, or is it just players period?
They say that's the criteria, and I think that's just a bunch of BS, because it just gives them a reason to say like why somebody slid or why somebody rose. It's like, it doesn't mean anything, It's like
entire body of work.
Yeah, that's my thing, like. So yeah,
but it's per season.
Aaron Rodgers didn't play. So, you're right. Maybe they should have just gave him number 100. Just a
101 and just make him honorable mention.
The good old honorable mention.
We'll make him Mr. Irrelevant of the top 100.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving more to a couple other preseason. We're looking at all these rookie quarterbacks. Looking at McCarthy's numbers. JJ McCarthy, dude, when you look at his actual numbers, so I got him pulled up here with Minnesota.
McCarthy came from a quarterback guy under Jim Harbaugh, so he's got something there.
Yeah, now, if he gets his ring vacated, that's something to get into for sure, because Harbaugh was interviewed regarding Michigan and all the stuff that went on, and he said there's three things that he grew up with is don't cheat, don't lie, and don't steal. And that's how I ran my football teams wherever I've been, because University of Michigan is not his only spot, along with being the Chargers now head coach. Obviously, he was in college before, was with the 49ers before. So to say that, but then to have all these things that already did happen, you're saying that you're the head coach of a formidable Big Ten school. And now you're saying, oh, well, then if it happened, I didn't know. So either you're really stupid for not knowing, or you did know and that's your story and you're sticking to it. Like, is it a situation where the assistant coaches kind of knew and they don't tell him because they know that he can't know? Or, come on, the head coach has to know what's happening, right?
Gotta plead the fifth.
Yeah, right? Like, that reminds me of, remember when Rafael Palmeiro was subpoenaed
Throwing
to court.
Throwing it back.
Yes,
I like
dude,
it.
because
I like
here's my impersonation of Rafael Palmeiro in court. I did not use steroids. And he like pointed the finger, like he was like, how dare you say that I did it? And then it comes out that he did it. Like,
Of course he did.
Or like Lance Armstrong. Like, dude, don't. It's one thing if you get caught doing something, but don't flip it around and be so abrasive in your attempt to get us to think that you didn't do it. Like, that's what Harbaugh was
I do
doing,
have to say there's a big difference here. If Harbaugh didn't lie, cheat, steal, he had someone else do it for him. The whole plausible
but he's saying he didn't know.
Deniability. So if he left it to his assistants, totally different from Rafael Palmeiro, who injected himself into his own ass on there. There's a huge difference between taking steroids yourself and saying, okay, assistants, here's the thing. And ...
You go do it and don't
leaving
tell me.
it at that.
Yeah,
because they have enough experience to know what they can do with him not knowing.
Yeah.
And now Michigan's gonna make him an honorary captain for the Fresno State football game, which I just think that's the most beautiful thing of this all. They're bringing him back as everything around that university implodes, or around that football program just implodes.
Yeah, that's wild.
Well, I mean, I for one, if I am a person who says that I do not cheat, I do not steal, I do not lie, I most certainly probably cheat, steal, and lie, because people that don't do that stuff don't go around telling people they don't do that stuff. You know, look, I know you guys got me on camera stealing boxes on my day off.
Yeah, on my day off, exactly.
Tactically acquiring.
But that
was last Friday.
Me. That ain't me.
Friday.
You know, I don't know how you got fired on your day off, but
that's like people who say they're thick-skinned. Those are the thinnest skinned people out there.
Oh yeah.
If you got thick skin, you don't have to tell us that.
Yeah. Listen, guys, no offense.
The water cooler announcers. Yeah. People are like, listen, I'm not racist, but and it's like, okay, well, you're about to say some racist shit.
You're about to say the most racist.
Yeah.
That's
so
racist.
With all due respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
Ricky Bobby.
Per my last email. Let's just go through all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So passive aggressive.
Harbaugh's
typical sin fashion here. We're completely derailing off the track and going a different route, you know?
I love that he ends the interview. He's like, well, I'm with the Chargers now, and I'm ready for the season. I'm attacking everything with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Like what? And he's just like, his doctor's
he's a weirdo.
He is a weird
man. It's like one of those weird Ultimate Warrior wrestling promos where he just went off into like a whole different stratosphere, started talking the craziest stuff that made no sense. It's just like I said, I was already reading tweets where Chargers fans are like, fire this dude, get him out of here. Like, it's like he hasn't even coached a game yet. Like, pump the brakes a little bit, Chargers fans, you know?
Yeah. Let's shift gears to the Olympics. I want to tell you, I had a chance before we get into that to stop by the Toy Pit on my way through Nashville because I was in Indy. And so remember, you can go to yourtoypit.com. If you're not in the Indy area, it's totally okay because you can still get online and buy, sell, trade all kinds of different things from the pop toys, different
Funkos.
Figurines. Yeah, the Funko Pops, like different figurines that are taller than you. I mean, there's like a life-size Luke Skywalker. Like, it's so cool. And
so it's like 4'3",
expanding.
like 4'3".
Yeah,
or so?
yeah, exactly. Mark Hamill. So yeah, go to yourtoypit.com. Definitely shout out to Mike and the Toy Pit.
Dude, speaking of Adam, love going to before we go into any more sports, got me with toys, man. I got to tell you guys, I got a toy store across the street from my house, Phillips Toy Mart, legendary toy store.
Nice.
My grandmother used to take me there when I was a kid, like that long ago. I used to buy old Nintendo games there, original Nintendo games there. What's funny is I called them when the Wii came out, and I was like, "Hey, you guys selling Nintendo Wii?" And they're like, "We don't sell video games here." And I was like, well, "That's funny. In the '80s, you did." But anyway, completely off track. But one time they had a sale going on in their window, and it was puzzles. They had a puzzle sale. Everybody loves puzzles, right? This was 40% off, 50% all puzzles. But the problem was that the person that put the letters in the window, they put the Z's backwards. So they look like S's. So they had an incredible sale going on for months. And if you don't understand what I'm getting at, just right now, go ahead and write puzzles down on a piece of paper and just reverse your Z's and then read it back to you and tell me what it says. You know, we'll wait while you do it. But so then I started trolling them and posting on my social media every day,
as is
and
tradition,
tagging them and calling them and asking them about the sales they had. And I said, "Hey, I heard you guys got a sale going on. What do you have on sale?" And they would say puzzles, and I would say, "Are you sure about that?" And they would say, "Absolutely." And I kept this going on for weeks. And then I started calling the store. I had other people calling. I even had friends
like
going
Bart
and taking.
Simpson calling Moe's Tavern.
People started coming to my house. One of my buddies texted me and I was like, "Hey, my girlfriend and I are right near your house. Will you take us over to the toy store?" And they went over and I was taking photos of them in the window, you know, and everything. But anyway, it took about 2 months and they finally fixed the window and they fixed it to say puzzles with the Z's the right way. Except they didn't use a capital L though. They didn't use a capital
puzzles.
L. They used a lowercase L.
Let me try that again then.
If you can
Let's
fix
try
it
that
real
again
quick,
then.
let's use those backwards Z's. And Miles, if you could just use a lowercase L there, just happy little trees. Happy little trees. There we go.
What
yes.
does that say?
Yes, they had those on sale for 40% off for like 2 months. 2 months. So
Maybe
anyway.
Pocket ones.
Yeah, if we haven't been canceled yet, we're definitely getting canceled.
That is stellar work by T.I. to troll. And I just think of, like I said,
I like
Bart
to troll.
Simpson calling
I
Moe's
need to Google
Tavern.
whistles later.
I want.
Be careful
want
how
a
you type that
Seymour.
in. Be careful how you type that in.
I'm looking for a Seymour.
Should I put it on the private search first?
Yeah.
Seymour Butts.
Probably make sure your wife's not around. She might be like, "What are you looking at?"
Yeah,
Certainly not my daughter.
Puzzles are on sale. T.I. was telling me about it.
Yeah, 40% off. Definitely. I was like Rain Man. Definitely
good deal.
40% off.
Definitely.
It's a good
If you hear
deal.
that
Good deal.
crackling going on, that's me putting my markers away.
Yeah, time to color. Yeah, it's over.
So anyway, back to Olympics. Back to how
Yeah.
USA dominates all the other countries. All the other countries just go home.
Yeah, I
true.
think that if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't let some of these guys come back. Like, I don't think Tyrese Halliburton deserves to come back to the country. And Jason Tatum, like, he could come back every 6 months has to go back and like
Jason
lift weights
Tatum
or
was
go
on the
do
Olympic
something.
team?
Did you see his mom's tweet with his highlights? Did you see that? Which
so-
was just a
The sweaty
just some
butt
ass,
on the seat.
sweaty ass cheeks on the bench.
Oh, so
I gotta give her some love on that. That was pretty good.
The only time that I was thinking about this, the only time that someone else tweeted for someone else where it actually improved the situation was with Steve Kerr. So Jonathan Kuminga, the new toy in the Warriors, organization, can get you 20, can get you 10, and his playing time had gone down, and his agent started tweeting about it, saying that he didn't know Jonathan Kuminga has lost faith in the coaching staff, doesn't think that the Warriors coaching staff is the staff for him to grow under. The next day, his minutes went considerably up, and for the rest of the season, Jonathan Kuminga averaged close to 20 points a game for the Warriors. That's the only time that I can think of where someone tweeting on your behalf made sense and it ended up boosting the situation. Every other time, it just gets you made fun of. It gets like, your mom isn't at practice. Your mom isn't aware of the situation on the other end. She's only worried about her baby. So, it's just asinine to me when family members... How about Ja Morant's dad? And, who is it? Their brother.
Right.
Derrick Rose, right? Derrick Rose's brother has done stuff. Guys, you're not with the team. You're your son or your brother
Jackson
is,
Mahomes.
that's cool. But like, oh God.
Yeah, if I was a professional
so
athlete,
terrible.
my parents would not have social media, and I would be sure of that. And I would be very wary to have my siblings even having social media. I mean, teach their own.
If you were a professional athlete, I'm not sure I'd be tuning in. Whatever team that you happen to make, I wouldn't think would be that great of a team.
You don't. What sport are we talking about? What sport are we talking about? You know what sport we're talking
Name
about?
it.
We're not talking about football
Name
or
it.
basketball. Name it. Badminton.
Oh, well, okay, a breakdancer?
Olympic sport.
They were in the Olympics.
Breakdance.
Yeah,
I can
Oh
do better
my
than
God.
the kangaroo girl.
Oh
I can
my
do better than the
God,
kangaroo
she was
girl.
hopping.
The Walk the Dinosaur girl.
Oh.
She looked like she was from the Walk the Dinosaur video. Again, showing my age there, but you all can Google it. But yeah.
So here's
I
a
think
funny
my
story.
depression rating through the VA is about to go up after watching Kangaroo Girl from Australia breakdance.
Well, it's kind of like
Austin
at Cork Bat said. Shout out Austin. He said, "What a great way to try to make the Olympics, tangible for a younger market is to introduce a sport that was created in the '80s." It's like, yeah, good point. I love breakdancing, I do, but I don't think they give a crap about breakdancing.
Next time, Ti, you bring me talent. Bring sure they're talented.
But that kangaroo girl, man, she was something.
Girl,
in the world
Kangaroo
of
Girl.
Yeah, in the world of breakdancers, she was sure one of them.
She was a person.
One of them.
Yeah, she was
apparently the best female from Australia at it.
She was the only one that probably wasn't incarcerated at the time, and they were just like, let's just let her do it,
She came out of the bush. Everyone in Australia lives in the bush, apparently. So,
we've already talked about puzzles tonight, so might as well talk about that as well. The
bush, not that type of bush. So one thing that was funny from the Titans game, they had like a thing where, every 7 minutes or so, they put a graphic on the board, and the announcer says something funny, and the camera goes to them. They're like, "I'm on camera," whatever. But they did this thing for the Olympics, which I thought was just very odd. But they're like, "All right, today's edition of Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down. Did you watch 20 hours or more of the Olympics? Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down." And the camera went to random people, and they had to go like this or like this. And the idea, from what I gathered, was they were wanting to make sure that people did thumbs up, and they could say, "Yeah, we all watched the Olympics. Shout out to USA, blah, blah, blah." But they were starting to get people go like this, thumbs down. And it was like, avert. And then they would go, the camera would go to like someone else who was doing thumbs up, but the people in the background were all going like this. So it was still canceling out. It was hilarious to see, because they were trying to put the count up. So they're like, "All right, first one, thumbs down. All right, it's 0 to 1. And then they'd get 2 consecutive thumbs up. All right, it's 2 to 1, thumbs up. And they're trying to find more people with thumbs up and to get to 5. And finally they did, but that'd be like if I'm going like this and 19 people behind me who aren't counted are all going like this. And the announcer's like, "Nope, don't see those people. We'll give it a thumbs up. All right, the thumbs up have it. It looks like you've all watched 20 hours or more of the Olympics." And we're all just like, okay, obviously, no, that's not.
Don't believe your eyes. The media's telling you the truth. It's ridiculous, man.
I have to go to my thing called a job and pay my bills. And I have to raise my kid, and sometimes I have to eat and sleep. So, yeah, I've missed some Olympics. I haven't watched 20 hours of it. But the Winter Olympics, Miles will have to tell me the name again, but once that James Bond event rolls around, I'm all in. Something about
the ski jump?
The one where they just, like the snowshoes, and they just wander around, and then they start shooting shit.
Oh, yeah, just the biathlon. That's all in there.
Yeah, how many alpine snipers are into this?
Skiing.
That is
cross-country skiing.
I saw that for the first time.
With shooting a gun.
The 2 Winter Olympics ago, and I was just like, That is cool as shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The ski jump, that's more Mission Impossible.
That's right.
That's where I'm getting my wires crossed.
That's right.
So you got both Tom
and
Cruise.
Happy Days as well.
Yeah, Tom Cruise did his
Fair
thing.
enough. Yep. You got Tom Cruise in there, and then just any and all James Bond, Daniel Craig, anyone else that Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
They
Daniel
all
Craig's
got an
good.
Olympic
Pierce
sport
Brosnan
for
Pierce
them.
Is good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's fine. He's fine, you know.
And Tom Cruise was at the kickoff for the 2028 now, doing his like special stuff, and like he does his own stunts. I gotta feel like all these other actors are like, Tom, would you quit doing that? Because all these producers are asking us now to do our own stunts, and we're not doing it. But Tom Cruise is like 4'11" doing all his crazy ass stunts. And then
Han
speaking
Solo
of
hurt
stunts,
himself doing it. Han Solo was trying to do it as well. Hurt himself. I don't know. I
Right,
don't know
right.
what movie it was on. I can't remember. But yeah, he was doing some stunt. It's like, dude, Harrison Ford, what are you doing?
I
Don't be
heard
doing
that
stunts.
Harrison Ford, he hurt himself as Red Hulk. He tore his pec as he was becoming Red Hulk. Which that is going to be crazy, man. I'm kind of excited for Red
So
Hulk.
he's Red. So William Hurt's not going to be Red Hulk. It's going to be Harrison Ford. That's weird. I didn't know that.
Well, William Hurt died, so
he died. I didn't. Yeah, that's right. He did.
Yeah,
Man, I
man.
totally forgot about that. I haven't seen the Hulk in a long time, so I kind of forget that whole deal.
well,
You know.
it was pretty forgettable because
Yeah,
Eric
you're right.
Bana was the Hulk, and then Edward Norton was Hulk.
I mean,
and they
the
finally
Eric
got it
Bana
right.
one was kind of stupid.
Oh,
I thought
so dumb.
the Edward Norton one was okay. But yeah, Mark Ruffalo is great though.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. He's the best Hulk for sure. Well, Lou Ferrigno's the best Hulk, but okay. And then in I Love You Man, where he's like, I'm getting choked by Lou Ferrigno. That is so funny. I Love You Man is just one of those
over the
classics.
head. Right.
You wouldn't
Peter, sell
like
my
me
house,
when
Peter.
I'm hungry. Isn't that what Ed Norton says? He's like, they're like translated. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah. Side note: if you guys haven't checked out last episode, we ranked our top 5 comic book movies, and we also have not mentioned anything about the Ninja Turtles in this episode, so we might as well just say the word Ninja Turtles. So
just to say it,
yeah.
Cowabunga.
I believe it's the law. Yeah. It's within our creed, at least, to say Ninja Turtles at some
obviously,
point.
in the show notes, it's just going to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because we found a way to get it in again. So that's always good. But yeah, I was talking about the Olympics shifting now to LA in 2028 and Flea. We talked about this before the show that he's 60 plus and he's out there basically with just wearing a sock. Like it's the equivalent. Like when you're 17, 18, 19, 20 doing that, playing the bass and your drummer's doing it and you're just wearing a sock, literally that's all you're wearing. If you fast forward and you do what Flea was doing at plus 60 years old, it's exactly the same. It is exactly the same. Like just moving, gyrating all over. Like, dude, you are not even 50. You're not 40. Not one person here, as we're in our 30s and 40s, should be doing that. And he's old enough to be our dad, and he's out there doing it. And I'm just looking at,
It's inspiring.
like, if our dads were like,
See, I took this another angle. But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We were. I'm sorry. I was in awe. I thought we were all in agreement here that it was pretty awesome. I didn't know we were talking bad about him. So sorry, I take that back. Retract that. Do some of your magic there, Adam.
yeah,
What
it was awesome. He took the
Flea
Tommy
there,
Boy
kids,
approach.
present. How dare
remember
you,
that?
Flea? Do what?
Yeah. He took
you say?
the Tommy Boy approach where the car gets mangled by the deer, and he's like, "That was awesome." Oh, but sorry about your car, man. The whole movie, David
deer.
Spade's trying to keep his money,
That-
like his
the
car,
very-
like
The very realistic
clean.
deer as well. Very realistic deer. See, I saw that. I
Was it
saw that recently. I
mechanical?
was like, "Whoa!" I didn't realize how fake that was.
Yeah. Jaws was more of a 20 years earlier was a mechanical shark looked better than the deer and Tommy Boy. So, yeah, the Olympics, I mean, women's basketball, I'll say, boy, if I'm Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark just watching this, and I'm like, you're telling me because a girl just stepped on the line that, I mean, it could have gone into overtime, and who knows, in overtime, you like the team who forced overtime, you like their chances. I don't care who's playing. You like Francis
on home court, that's
yeah.
That's it doesn't get any more home court than that.
Home country advantage, yes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but
it's like, man,
an entire nation
25 points. Yeah, 25 points at halftime. I mean, I know the teams are tied, but still, I mean, you know, I just look. Some of those USA, I mean, some of the WNBA women, they're afraid of the young ones stealing their thunder, and you know they can paint it however they want, but they strategically all work to keep both those girls off the team. I mean,
and you know what they're going to say after this? Look, we still won gold. We should still be on the team in 4 years in LA at home. Yeah. We're going to go out on a high at 46 years old.
Yeah, no way with Angel. And there's in 4 years there will be other players who are maybe
coming out of high school right now that are other ones that are maybe coming out of high school right now, going to college, and then they'll be in the WNBA as rookies, and because the Caitlyn Clark effect, and to a smaller extent Angel Reese, they'll be like, well, now after seeing that we just barely survived 4 years ago, we need to put all these 22-year-olds on the team.
Oh yeah,
it may have that backfire effect.
Sure. You know,
well, I mean, I have to see.
I think both of them deserve to be on there, but I mean, you know, I don't follow the WNBA enough. Caitlyn Clark gets a lot of clicks, but other than that, like, hey, I feel like she's a baller, but hey, I didn't pick that team, but I think she probably should have been there, and they probably would have won the games a little more handily.
Yeah, and just the revenue and just everything for the sport, such a miss of a thing to do that when it's like you're getting all this momentum and then like, oh, nope, you just don't let her on the team, like, because you say, well,
it just goes to show why the league is still losing $50 million this year. It's not because they're not having people come to the games or watch the games. It's because of mismanagement. That's what it comes down to. And it's gross negligence at this point from the top down in the WNBA.
So gross negligence is the perfect segue because it is time for our Idiot of the Week. Always check out Sin on all of your social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you're calling it these days, because especially on Twitter or X, go to the pinned tweet where we did have a Caitlyn Clark tweet that went crazy viral. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. It just took off. And in real time, we're just watching it skyrocket. It was like so cool. So yeah, check us out. Again, subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new content drops. Miles is going to tell us who the Idiot of the Week is.
All right, kids. Hide your moms, hide your dads, hide your spouses. Because this week we got DK Metcalf as the Idiot of the Week. And he's just the king of the idiots because there were more just like him. We are starting to see a sick Myles Garrett trend of players ripping off football helmets and using them as a projectile or as a katana to strike fellow teammates. We got DK Metcalf for Seattle. Yes, they are idiots. DK Metcalf for Seattle, going after his teammates, Trey Brown. They got a little bit of a tiff, one could say. One of his DBs getting chippy, but to take it to this level, and he was the first one that I recalled that has not only ripped off a helmet and tried to use it as a weapon, he threw it at him. He missed and hit another teammate. Now his other teammate, I think it was Kevon Wallace, a safety, was wearing one of those, let's say, puzzle-shaped soft shell helmets, so that protected him. He's still with us, so
Right.
that kept him still with the team. But seeing that, it's just disgusting. Honestly, I think when you're doing it to your own teammate, now if you do it to an opponent like Myles Garrett did, we'll let that slide. You're only going to get 4 to 6 game suspension. But now we're seeing that trend because Appalachian State, my God, that was horrific. I don't know what's happening to that player. App State's trying to keep it in-house. They're still not releasing the name of the player that did it, but if you got a chance, go check out the video of Appalachian State, their practice defensive tackle. After the drill was over, the play in their scrimmage, he ripped off the helmet of the teammate. He cocked back and bam, straight up dome pieced. Hit him right in the head without his helmet, obviously, because he used the guy's own damn helmet against him. That is no, it's not assault, it's battery, is what that is. That guy needs to be charged not only off the team. That dude needs to go before a court, and either a judge or a jury of his own peers needs to sentence him for what he did. And then you're seeing other reports of it. You got Bengals internally, Alex Kappa and BJ Hill getting after it. BJ Hill rips off Kappa's helmet, and thankfully he got stopped because there were 8 other guys that pounced him for it. But what's going to happen at this point, like with joint practices? Is this going to spill over into a melee between teams? Now, as a Titans fan, I'm kind of concerned because we got a joint practice coming up with the Seahawks. Is DK Metcalf going to, attempt to murder Snead or Diggs or Adams, because that's one of his former teammates as well? Like Diggs or Adams, fresh off the waiver wire from Seattle. I mean, I don't know what DK Metcalf has towards them. He's got a chip against them. He's going to use their helmets as a projectile against them too. Like, where are we going with this? What are we going to do to minimize this going forward? You're not going to stop every fight. I get that, but come on, ripping people's helmets off and bashing them over the head. We're going too far now.
We've all seen his workout photos. He looks like he's just straight off of the WWE circuit. I mean, he's a monster. We saw him chase down, if I'm not mistaken, was it Patrick Peterson? Is that what guy he chased down?
Yeah, from that interception.
And that was unreal. I mean, he's a freak of nature. He's a monster, and he is the last person in the world who needs to have anything in his hand being used as a weapon.
Yeah, his fist.
He is a weapon
alone.
He's like a Hulk. One peg is a weapon. He could just be like boom, like knock you out with it. Like Terry Crews style. Like,
He's the Black Hulk.
Yeah.
We got Red Hulk.
Might as well. It's like the Yoshis. You've got all the different Yoshis. We've got all the different Hulks.
Yeah, definitely cannot be using your helmet as a weapon.
There's a pink Hulk somewhere. There's a pink Hulk somewhere.
Yeah, you wouldn't like her when she's not able to shop. She becomes the Pink Hulk. So, yeah, using your helmet as a weapon, definitely not the move, and it is becoming more of a thing. Watch out for these joint practices. I like the joint practices because anytime you're hitting someone else not wearing your own color helmet is a positive thing. And if they're not going to do preseason games as much because they're going to try and do more regular season games, then this is their answer. This is what's going to happen, is the joint practices. So I like a little bit of fighting because I like a little bit of juice. You got to get that juice in you, right? But just it's fair or foul. There are foul ways, and using the guy's own helmet on him, like, come on, dude. Like, there's nothing worse.
It's called
that.
a
Kick
line.
him in the nuts.
There's a fine line that you don't step over. That's stepping way over that line.
Yeah, and you don't kick him in the balls. You don't use his own helmet against him. What are we doing?
Shout out Titans QB Mason Rudolph. He knows all about that. Firsthand.
Yep. You had a chance to talk to him last week.
I did.
That was cool,
I
right?
didn't ask him about that, of course. That was probably not the right move.
Hey, so what was it like, man? You want to reenact that now?
Yeah, so what was it like getting your after skull bashed in by Myles Garrett? Oh, yeah, probably
by
not,
a Hulk.
Probably not the right.
He's another Hulk.
Probably not the right lead-off question. Maybe I should try again.
Yeah. Hi, I'm T.I. I want to introduce myself and ask you, what was it like from a Hulk wanting to end your life?
He would have remembered that moment, though. He would have remembered you, though.
Yeah, he would have, and avoided me for the rest of my existence. And
well,
him
from
as
the
a
glasses,
Titan.
he'd remember.
Now, let me ask you this.
He was nice, though. I give him a shout-out, man. He's nice. He's a cool dude.
Did you talk with Mason Rudolph before or after you gave those glasses to Will and Malik?
Before. It was Mason was first. Mason was the first QB that I talked to. And like I said, I had to originally had him for Jeffrey Simmons, but I passed him off to Malik.
Yeah, that could have gotten really awkward had they been rocking the glasses. You're like, oh yeah, we got the TI glasses, and then you followed up with asking their other QB. So what was it like getting your head bashed in?
Yeah, for real. He'd be like, well, got some shades there I can wear, and I'm going to go ahead and smash them in the middle of the field right now. Stomp on them, make sure
like
that they're
Myles
broken.
Garrett.
Yeah, but
a la Myles
but yeah, I mean the joint practices. I'm kind of like you guys. I think they get unnecessarily aggressive just by nature. Just because you've got that pent up energy where you've been hitting your own teammate and now you're hitting another team. Sure, another logo, another colored jersey. But ever since we've had the joint practices, we've seen way more fights, and unfortunately we've seen more injuries. I hate to say it, we have seen some joint practice injuries, just because it's going to happen. It's your first contact with another team. You're used to playing against your guys, used to playing against your teammates, used to how they cover you or their movements or whatever. But you get that first taste of real action, whether it's practice or not, man, people are going to get hurt. And I don't know. I know it's part of the game, but maybe the joint practice aren't as necessary as we think they are. But to play devil's advocate, like Adam said, if you take away less, you're taking away more preseason games. How do you get that real football action before week one? So, it is what it is. I mean, the NFL is changing so much. The Guardian caps and all the kickoff. The kickoff was it was weird.
Wild.
It was weird. I'm not against it. I enjoyed it a little bit, but then I was just kind of like, I don't know. I miss the Warriors impacting just full on force. I know we need to protect the players, but man, I miss that.
Yeah, Delta Force, the special ops going downfield and trying to assassinate a kick returner. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the football that I grew up with.
Yeah, with Devin Hester going into the Hall of Fame just for doing that one thing and nothing else.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, right? We're sending this guy to the Hall of Fame for kick returns, and now we're taking him away.
Yeah. Highly dumb. Very, very dumb. What is not dumb is the fact that we come to you every Monday and Thursday. So make sure you follow Sports Idiot Nation wherever you grab your social media, and on YouTube, hit the notification bell, because this Thursday is just like every other Thursday. You can find us with a new show for you. So for Miles Behind Enemy Lines and Mr. T.I., I am Adam Marino, and we will see you Thursday.
Okay, all you sinners, follow Sports Idiot Nation on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, and remember, the most fun way to watch us is on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated when new content drops. Remember, the podcast can also be found on the usual suspects of Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always remember, don't be an idiot.
Sinner.